You're listening to the Staging Sips podcast with Lori Fisher. This podcast is dedicated to helping real estate staging CEOs build healthy businesses that grow, flow, and thrive. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Oh my gosh, have I missed you all. I realize I have been in a big hiatus, and it's actually interesting. It's probably one of the biggest breaks I've taken from every kind of marketing I have done in my business in the 12 years that I've been in business. And I just want to tell you a little bit about it and what brought it about and why. So back in April, I went to a mastermind session with my business coach, Toby Fairley, and it was an amazing few days. And while I was there, we were talking about the future of Rethink You. What does it look like? And we came up with the idea that, and I knew that the Rethink You name would change eventually. I just needed to make a decision. Sometimes in our businesses, we just need to make a decision on something and not hold ourselves up, not look for perfection, just look for just something that you can help get you moving forward. So Rethink You was a placeholder name for what I knew would eventually become something bigger. And while I was at the mastermind with Toby, that's what we started to put into place. And we had talked about the fact that really what I wanted to do was to create a staging business school. And so I went about looking for, just like you start any new business venture, right? Looking for the URL. Is the name available? Is the Instagram name available? Is the Facebook name available? And all of that. And so I just really wanted to dedicate myself and dial into what that staging business school could look like. And some of that just required thought and time and space. For somebody like me, I am someone who likes time to ruminate on things. But I have this part of me that likes to take action quickly. And maybe you're the same. I get excited in the moment, which I did while I was there. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to change my Instagram profile from Rethink Home to Staging Business School right now. And I did it in that meeting. And then I left the meeting and I thought, oh wait, no, I have this whole business, this whole staging business, Rethink Home Interiors, that actually needs that Instagram profile and actually needs the Rethink Home Facebook profile. I can't just change those to Staging Business School. So I backtracked big time. And so, but what it made me realize was I needed time to think about what the future of this was going to look like. And I also needed support here on the podcast. Just like starting out any business, I was new to podcasting starting in the fall of last year. And I love to see what the system looks like. And I like to create the system and see how it works and see how it operates so that when I go to hand it off, I actually know what I'm delegating. I'm not one that can just delegate something from the very beginning. I really need to see how it works so that if I need to let go of somebody and hire somebody new, I am not left not knowing what our process is and how to delegate it out. So I was doing a lot of the work of getting the podcast put out into the world with some support to do some background things. But for the most part, I was the project manager for every weekly podcast. And that also became very challenging while running the staging business and thinking about what I would do with Rethink You and the Staging Business School. So I put a pause on the podcast so that I could gather some support, gather the troops, and then also get some time to think about this new chapter, the Staging Business School that is going to be brought into fruition over probably the next 18 months because I'm going to take time to roll it out gradually. So why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you all of this because there are probably going to be times in your own business where you might have a pause for whatever reason. It could be personal, maybe health issues or a family member who needs you and you need to put a pause on some of the activities that you're doing. So I'm very fortunate. The staging business really runs without me, which is fantastic. So I am able to go and explore all kinds of other things and not have our staging business come to a halt. But But I did want to say that from a marketing perspective, the podcast continued to grow week over week. My email list continued to grow week over week. And that was without posting anything on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook about Rethink You, Rethink Home Interiors. And that was just mind blowing to me. And I remember hearing Amy Porterfield, who is, somebody who I admire and I follow. I remember her saying once years ago that in the beginning of her podcast system, she was very inconsistent because she wasn't using batching to create her content and a whole host of reasons. And I most recently listened to one of her podcasts where she said she has 1 million downloads of her podcast every single week. And that just made me feel so good. And I wanted to share it with you because I thought sometimes we can beat ourselves up over taking a break or taking a pause and think that it can really be detrimental to our businesses, when really it could be the very best thing for us. And in the beginning, we are our business, right? So I just wanted to share that with you, but I also wanted to share with you what is coming up with Rethink You. Staging Sips is back and Staging Sips will be moving forward. And I'm so happy to have our new team member, Deborah, who is doing all of the project management behind the scenes for us. And I'm just excited to have her as part of our process. But what's happening with Rethink You? So Rethink You will be opening in the middle of September at the time of this recording. We're in 2023. So, Rethink You is opening in the middle of September. It is opening as Rethink You Accelerate, because what's going to happen is under the Staging Business School, there are going to be 3 different tracks. And the first one will be growth. And that's for people who are newly in business. And if you go back to the first 4 episodes of Staging Sips, and actually it's the third, fourth, and, second, third, and fourth episodes. Those are about the various stages of business: growth, accelerate, and leverage. So growth will be coming in the future. That will be for business owners who are just getting started, where you may have taken a staging certification, but you're getting out into the world, starting to market your business, and you realize there are a lot of parts and pieces that you may not have gotten in your certification, or you might have already outgrown what you learned there, and you need something else to help you keep your momentum in getting your business rolling. Because in the beginning, for some of us, it can feel like we're pushing a boulder up a mountain. And so anyway, that track will be coming. Rethink You and the curriculum in Rethink You will become Accelerate. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that candidate in a minute. And then leverage is for the business owner who has come close to crossing that 6-figure barrier and is moving on into the multiple 6-figure barrier and needs higher level kinds of attention and detail about CEO kinds of things. Because what happens in Accelerate is you're really operating as middle manager for every department in your business. And what we want to do as a leveraged business owner is leverage is all about leveraging your time, and leveraging your time is stepping 1 step higher in altitude so that you have a layer of management between you and every other process happening in your business. So that's basically what I have just done with the podcast. In the beginning, I was in growth for these first 6 months of the podcast. Now, so I was the technician, not only the content creator, but the project manager. So now what I have done as I move into Accelerate on the podcast is I'm going to be leveraging my time. So I'm still the content creator, but I am not project managing the entire process to make sure that from the time of creating an outline and recording the podcast, all of the other activities that have to happen in the middle, I don't take care of it. I don't take care of getting it to the engineer. I don't take care of uploading it to our podcast syndication company and show notes and all of that other stuff that I was doing. So it's kind of the same path. And it's really interesting because it is the same path when you start a new service, when you start a new business, when you start a new activity in your business. Very often you will go through the same phase of being in growth, being the technician of what you do, and then going to Accelerate, where you're overseeing maybe the technicians, but you're still kind of in it, and then emerging into the leveraged business owner, leveraged project manager, where you're just overseeing the whole thing. Somebody else is taking it from the beginning and running it to the finish line. And you're just checking in to make sure that they have what they need to be successful to do that for you. So anyway, that's what's going to be happening in the Staging Business School. So you're going to start to see some rebranding happening. Rethink You Accelerate will still just look and feel like Rethink You until we get, modules re-recorded to say Accelerate and things like that. But what doesn't change with Rethink You is the candidate that is ideal for it. So I'm going to go into that detail. And one more thing is that Staging Business School will be open for enrollment year round. So when you're ready to join the Staging Business School, whether that is growth when we have it or this Accelerate right now, you can come in at any time. So that's going to be different. We're not opening enrollment and closing it, because one of the things that I know is that I was trying to time it. So I was like, I don't want to open enrollment when I think people are in their busy season. Maybe we want to open it right at the end of the spring season and right at the end of the fall season, when people might not have had a busy season, or as busy as they were hoping, and the opportunity is ripe. I think I just want to have it open and available to you all the time. But what we're going to do is have some criteria around who we think would be an ideal candidate, but you get to self-select. So if you hear yourself in any of the descriptions around Staging Business School and you feel ready to join us, you can join us in that track. So for right now, Rethink You Accelerate is going to be what's opening in September, and it will become Accelerate, like I said. And the best candidate for Accelerate, based on the curriculum, is somebody who's been in business for a little while. You might have taken a staging certification. You might have just started your staging business on your own and kind of learned as you've gone. And you've started to see some momentum. You're starting to gain clients, and it's inconsistent. It's not sporadic. So it's not like you go for months and months and months and don't have somebody, a client reaching out to you, but you might have weeks where you have 1 or 2 appointments, and then you might have a week where you have 3, 4, 5 appointments. This is the point that you are starting to feel like you might be running out of time too. Like you might be having those weeks where you've got 5 appointments, and you might have a couple of those back to back, and you feel exhausted and you're starting to feel like you need some help. You may be getting more vacant staging requests, and it's taking you a long time to be able to implement those. You might need a helper. You might need an assistant. That is where you are in your business, and you're looking to grow to being fully booked, but you don't want to burn yourself out, because too many of us stay in the role of technician too long in our staging businesses and can really burn ourselves out. So you know that your goal is to grow team to help you, but you know that you don't have systems in place, processes in place. You might be doing installations like vacant stagings and doing them when a client requests it versus letting them know when you have availability in your schedule, creating a runway for that service, kind of jumping when people, ask you to, or asking them how high you should jump when they ask you to jump. So if you're feeling like that, Rethink You Accelerate is going to be a really great place for you. You're looking to understand your business financials better. It feels like you get a windfall of cash maybe when you do a vacant, but then the next thing you know, that money is evaporating very quickly, and you don't really have a clear understanding of the ins and the outs of the cash flow in your business. You're also looking to know exactly what you need to do and how you need to think about it. You don't want to try to recreate the wheel with everything that you do. You want some tried and true process in order to get the results that you want. You're also a business owner with an education mindset, a positive learner's mindset. You're open to new concepts. You're open to new ideas. You may have even taken some courses before and looked outside of yourself for gathering expertise. You're used to investing in your business, or you know that that's something that you want to do and you want to start doing it. You want to invest in your own education because you understand that your brain is your most valuable business asset. You know that getting information and education into yourself is going to pay off 1,000-fold over anything else that you do in your business. And you take accountability for your results. So you're willing to look into yourself and into your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions and understand where they may have led you to results that you don't want. And you're willing to look at those results that you don't want and reassess your thoughts and beliefs around those things. We're really big about that belief triad, which I talk about in podcast episode 1, where it's your knowledge, your beliefs, and your actions your beliefs, thoughts, and your actions that create your results. So you're really invested and totally bought into the idea that it is that combination of knowledge, beliefs, and actions that create your results. And you're willing to look at any one of those areas and reassess them and recalibrate if you need to. So that's what's happening. That's what that business owner right there is, who would be ideal for the curriculum inside Rethink You Accelerate when it opens in September. Now, in the background, I'm also working on what we will have available for our growth business owners, for those business owners that when you go to episode 2 of the podcast, you hear yourself in that podcast. Growth, I will be putting together tools and strategies and marketing tactics and things like that for you specifically. That will be coming probably in 2024. It's not likely to come in 2023, but I want you to stay engaged with the podcast. I want you to stay engaged with your business, because if you are in growth now, but you can take some of the free information that I provide here on the podcast to help you get to Accelerate, then join us at Accelerate. The doors are open always. You get to self-identify for Accelerate when it's open. And for our leveraged business owners, most likely what will happen is starting in 2024, I will be doing individual deep dives and offering that out to our business owners who are hitting 6 figures and want to go to multiple 6 figures. So all of that is coming. So I am super excited for you to join us. Rethink You again when it opens. I just want you to know there are self-paced modules in there. We have a swipe studio with, I can't even tell you the resources there. It's amazing. We have team huddles, meetings, job descriptions, anything that you would need to grow a team, training on creating systems, how to delegate, how to create your red velvet rope hiring policy. There's all kinds of swipe studio things, swipe files and just things that you can take and use right in your business. What our meeting process is, what our annual planning process is for the business, and how do we set goals. It's chock full. So you have those modules, you have all of those things that you can just take and use, resources from my business that you can take and use in your business. And then we have bi-weekly, twice a month coaching calls, group coaching calls, where we all come together and we talk about our wins, our struggles. We work through thought process, mindset. We troubleshoot, we share resources. So you get access to that, to me and your fellow business owners, twice a month. And enrollment to Accelerate is lifetime. So you never need to not be in it. So once you have paid your tuition, which at the time of this recording is $3,000, and you can spread that out over 12 or 6 months, you are in for life to the Rethink You program. So I'm excited to open those doors for you in the middle of September. And don't worry, we'll make sure you know. And just thank you. Thank you for the time. And thank you for just continuing to be a part of my community. And thank you for the grace while I spent some time to think through all of what needed to be done and take this pause in staging sips so that I could come back and share a lot more with you and be a little more dialed in and clear myself. So see, it happens to all of us at every level. So anyway, that is your sip for the week. I hope you have a wicked good week coming up, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Staging Sips podcast. If you love what you've learned here today and you want to go deeper and learn even more about how to market and grow your staging business more strategically, I would love for you to join us inside of the Rethink You Accelerate Mentorship Program. To get more details and get yourself on the wait list, you can go to rethinkhomeinteriors.com/waitlist. Looking forward to seeing you inside.